So I got the van all buffed out. As you can see, it started raining. I still gotta put some wax on it. I need to start working on this panel. Need to get the bikes out. It is a disaster in here. You have to move something if you want to do something. What'd you get? Hold on, let me see. Ooh. Where's your rods and... Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back with more. Let's see, let's see. So they didn't even do anything to them. They just used them to balance. Oh, they did grind a little bit off. Huh. All these, they got a little bit.
They probably made all these the same exact weight.
Yeah.
They probably made all these the same weight and then balanced.
With the crank?
To these.
Yeah, I don't know the actual like process. Shoot, so now you can put it together?
Now I can put it together.
Yeah, let's go. I gotta get my stuff off. He barely even made it out of the driveway. Bro, he didn't even make it to the end of the road. So I've just been sanding and sanding and sanding. I did do one coat of primer, and that kind of shows me like where I'm at because it gets all the color the same. And I can see little low spots and holes and like, you know, high spots, whatever. So my brother's over here working on his brakes. He had a little bit of drama with his truck. He couldn't even make it, out of the driveway.
Get out of here.
He's working on brakes. He's working on batteries, sorry. So this is how I've been putting Bondo on my panel. I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I'm gonna do it. Not all of you may have done this, so I figured I would like cover it. So you get your thing of Bondo and you open it. It's all smelly and nice. This is Bondo Glass, so it has little bits of fiberglass in it. And, oh man, it smells freaking lovely. So you get a stick, put some on. I use a piece of cardboard. So I got that much. I mean, it's not that, like, I don't need that much for this little bit. So I always close this back up just to keep the moisture and crap out of it. So they sell these little spreaders. I got the smallest one out of the pack. And what you do, you add the hardener. So what I do is I just do one stripe over the little pile that I got there, just one little over the whole thing, and then I mix it. I just get it and I just spread it out and I just keep doing that. And you want it all one uniform color, so it's mixed up super well. It's all brown, and I need to add a little bit on this spot because it's a little bit low, and I just get a little bit on my little applicator. And right there is where it's low. So this little spreader, I always leave it on because once it dries, you can bend this thing and dude, it just pops right off. It's so nice. And if you got a lot left over, the stuff, it gets hot. It gets like super warm. So this is what I just built up. This edge wasn't here. It kind of sunk down a little bit, and this stuff is almost dry. And you can tell it's still kind of like damp, and it's not super solid yet, and that's exactly what you want because I've been using this file, and this file keeps it straight, keeps it along the body line, and you can knock all the super high spots off because this is still a little bit soft. And so you can see that the chunks are still kind of big, and it knocks down super quick before it's dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and tackle this and get it pretty close. So that way when I start sanding, I don't have to sand my life away. So I got it pretty close with the file. I also got another file right here. I'm going to show you guys how I do spot putty, which is super easy. And spot putty is all this orange stuff, which this is for super thin. If you got a slight imperfection, then use this. If you got more than, you know, a slight, maybe a millimeter, then you go to the Bondo Glass. Or this is regular Bondo, just body filler. So the difference between these two, this is for, it says small holes and rust outs on metal, wood, or fiberglass. This stuff flexes also, and this is a fiberglass panel, so I wanted to use that just because, I don't know, I feel like it holds up better to a flexing, you know, piece of body or trim or whatever you have. So this is more for like the body on your car that may not flex like as much. They're very similar, and honestly, before this can, I've never used this stuff. This one guy was saying that this works super good on fiberglass panels and doesn't crack like Bondo does. So I figured I'd give it a try. They're both essentially the same thing. You got to mix them with the hardener, and you know, you can get these out wherever, Home Depot, Meijer, AutoZone, any. Walmart's cheap. So there's some slight imperfections right here, and it's too small for these, and it's too big for primer just to fill in. So that's when you use the spot putty. This stuff is super easy. Basically, you just wipe it on your finger, and you just kind of smear it over whatever. That's what all of these are. They're just smear marks, slight imperfections, and obviously you can see that I've been super picky with my imperfections. So yeah, I'm gonna just put a bead across this, and when it dries, you'll be able to sand it, and it's essentially not there. And this stuff dries super quick, so I like to put the cap back on, like in between using it. So you just wipe on, and you fill in all your little imperfections. And again, this has to be really thin for spot putty, because it'll crack if it's too thick, or if your hole's too big, it'll crack and it just won't hold up, because it's not made to be put on thick like this stuff. So yeah, this is for super thin. I'll do it right here. I'll probably sand it off, but just to show you guys again, a little bit on your fingertip. I always put the cap back on, because like I said, this stuff dries fast. This stuff sands super easy, the spot putty. And you can use this on like whatever. So on my swing outs, there was a weld, and it was my first weld. I did not do a good job. I tried to melt the metal in instead of add filler rod, whatever. And I got mad. I got frustrated, and I was like, screw it. So I took some of this and I wiped it over the weld. It was like barely, like slight imperfections that I filled in, and literally you cannot even tell that this is on here. Also, this shear has it on it as well. A lot of machines and just like big equipment and stuff it's pretty much a spot putty. It's like a spray on super thick spot putty / primer. And you can tell when the paint chips, it's definitely like a primer or a spot putty, and they coat the whole thing with that stuff. You can even see it right there. It's a little bit of white. They coat this whole thing with it right there. So it's smooth, and so it looks good, and you know, the appearance is good. You'll actually buy it. And these right here, they welded these on, obviously. It's all steel, and they, I'm sure, just wiped a bead across all them, and it kind of settled. Maybe they sanded it, I don't know, but it makes it super smooth, which is essentially what I'm doing right here. Basically, this is a super thick primer. I almost forgot to show you guys. This is the little spreader, and if you bend this, see how it cracks? And literally, I mean, it flakes off. So easy. So yeah, definitely leave this on the spreader, and it'll be super, the thicker you leave it on, the better. And it flakes. I think that's gonna do it for today. I'm getting kind of tired. It's probably about 12:30, and this panel is good. I'm waiting for all the spot putty and stuff to fully dry, and then I can sand it. I'll put another coat of primer on it. While I'm putting another coat of primer on it, I'm gonna get back to this van and put a coat of wax on it. So tomorrow's Friday. I was originally wanting to leave Friday. It was a good like goal. It kind of got me going, but this thing isn't done, and I need to pack up all my crap. So tomorrow, I think I'll get this painted. I really think I'll get that painted. It's getting there. It's getting close. It's almost right now to the point to where I like it. So I may paint that tomorrow. It's not gonna rain, so we have a good chance at least at painting it. The weather's gonna hold up. I think that's it. I'm wrapping it up. Bikes are coming in. I'm going to bed.